And now here is the second half of the lesson that has the homework on it. Sorry, I had to upload this one in 2 videos. So we'll start again. We'll say the numbers on height. Okay, so that's height, that's weight. So we'll have 4, 8, 5, 13, 6, and 19, 8, and 27, 11, and 45. Okay, if they give us a grid that looks like that, the way we make a scatter plot is we take whatever is in the top or on the left-hand side, and we put that. Ooh, I'm going to use my ruler actually. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this. We're going to take this. We're going to make a nice little chart. So this guy will be our line that way. And then, see if I can get it at 90 degrees. And a chart going that way. Cool, thank you, ruler. So this is the weight on that side, the H, so whatever's up here on the top always goes on the bottom, okay? So it always goes down there. Now what we do is we come over and let's say that this is this is like, each one of these represents, like this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, right? That's all the numbers that we need. Ooh, don't do that. Then up here on the height, we have bigger numbers, obviously. So we have like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so we have on that side. Now what we do is we plot this point just like we would with an X and Y axis. So we go where H is 4, W is 10. So we just put a dot right there. Let me undo that dot because I really didn't like that dot. Let's get a bigger dot. Yay for bigger dot, okay. So big dot right there for 4, 8, and then we go up 1, 5, and we get to 13, so it's gonna be like that. Then we go 6, and it's 19, so it's like up here. Then we go 8, and it's all the way up at 27, which is here. Then we go to 11, which is in between these guys, which is way up here, like that, okay? So that's called a scatter plot. As you can see, all those dots are in a row. That's how we make a scatter plot. So not very hard. You just have to use the x-axis down here and the y-axis up here, and then you just put those points. Now, when the line, okay, as the line goes this way, what happens? It also goes up at the same time. You see that? Each one of these is making a line that's going like that when they're all together. So when we have that, let me erase that line right there. But when we have something that goes up like that, we call that positive correlation. Okay, you need to know this. When it goes up, that is called positive correlation. Positive correlation is something that you will use from now on in math. It means that as this one increases, this one increases, and that makes a red diagonal line. As you can see, it makes this right there. Okay, that's called positive correlation. So the only other example that I have to give you is one that is negative correlation, okay? So let's say that this is now our chart that they give us, okay? They say this is based on how many hours of TV you watch. Hours of TV. Okay, so hopefully you're not watching too many hours of TV. Hours of TV and your GPA. So they say here, if you watch 4 hours of TV, or 8, or 15, or 18, or 20, or 25, okay, they're going to say, what happens with your GPA? Ooh, this got kind of aggressive down here. What happens with your GPA? Well, they say for 4 hours, it's a 3.7. For 8 hours, it's 3.5. You can see what's happening here. It's going down. For 15, it's 2.7. For 18, it's 2.4. For 20, it's 1.5. And for 25, it's down to 1.1. Now I do the same thing I did before. I'm going to draw my line, and then draw my other line. Okay. So what's down here on the bottom is hours, right? Because it is the X, it's on top, so that's the hours, and this is your GPA. So what happens here when your hours are smaller, like let's say this is 4, this is, we'll do 8, we'll go by 4, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28 hours of TV. We'll say GPA, we're going to start up here at 4.0, and we're going to have 3, your GPA is at 2, and now your GPA is down at 1. Now look at this right here. I'm going to use red dots to make this biggest one. So at 4 hours of TV, which is right here, we have a 3.7, way up here. There's 1 dot. Then over here at 8 hours, we have a 3.5. Now we're down to 3.5. At 15 hours, which is almost way out here, we're down to 2.7. At 18 hours, we're now down to 2.4. At 20 hours, we're down to 1.5. And then down here at 25, we're down to 1.1. Now, what you can tell about this chart, it looks a little different than our last one, right? It's going downhill. We call that, I'll write it in blue, negative correlation. That is negative correlation. It's correlated in that as one goes down, the other goes over. It's negative because this is down. Okay, so it's negative because of this right here, that it's down. But it's correlated because as one increases, one decreases. Okay, so that's what we call it, negative correlation. Okay, so there's our lesson. So if you need to look at the examples in the book, feel free to do so. I'm now going to give you the homework for this day. So this is page, again, we are still on 10.2. This is page 402 again. This time for homework, we're going to do 23 through 27 all. Okay, 23 through 27 all. Then 30 through 33 all. Okay, you will need to use graph paper. So I'm going to put this here. Some of these will need graph. Okay, some of those you will need to graph in order to finish those. Okay, so 23 through 27 all, 30 through 33 all, and numbers 30 and 31 will need a graph. Okay, there's our first 3 lessons. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully it didn't overwhelm you or confuse you, but there we